Hey, Shawnee from SpeedCubeView.com. Let's talk about how to solve an axis cube. Now, this is just another 3x3 shape mod like a lot of the other ones, but after I've made the video for Fisher Cube and things like that, I've gotten some requests for this one. So, just like a normal 3x3, we have the centers, which all look the exact same. All the sides have that same design on it. Then we've got the four edges coming off the center, and then the corners. So let's mix this up. Okay, so that looks adequately mixed. So first, let's build off of the centers. So we've got this one right here. This already looks like this is paired correctly. So I need another red piece to come off of here. So we've got this red piece right that can connect to right there. So, but that does not connect. So let's find a different red piece to connect to there. And that solid one. So that's one thing that you might have noticed when we were scrambling it up, that a lot of the edge pieces are just one solid color. So it doesn't fit that way. So let's move it over. Come on, line up. And then insert that way. Just like that. Then we've got this green side. So we can do sort of the same thing almost. That one comes in right there. And then we've got one more green piece. It's going to be one of the double colored ones. And it's probably going to be green and yellow. There it is right there. Let's see, will this one line up? Now this one does need to be flipped, but before I do, I'm going to do what I did on the other 3x3 shape mods and orient the centers. So for example, this one should have green facing down. So I'm going to use this empty slot to make that happen. Oh, one more 90-degree turn. There we go. This one needs to have that red turned 90 degrees. Just like that. And that one's correct. So we need to put in the green and yellow edge piece. Now before I put it in, I'm going to line up that center. So that. Oh, no, I'm going to have to flip this. So to do that, we'll put in the edge 90 degrees one way, and then 90 degrees the other way. So down, and then over. So now we have, I thought I had the cross made. Oh, yep, there we go. So now we have the cross made. So now we just have to put in each of the corners. So here is obviously going to be a solid yellow triangle, which will fit right there. This one is obviously going to be a solid red triangle. So do we have one here? Yes, we do. And it looks like I'm going to have to turn it first, I think, before I insert it. Nope, not that way. Let's try this other way. Yep, there we go. And then we've got a corner, white, green, and red, which I think I saw that. Yep, there it is. So let's insert that corner. Solid green triangle right there. Oh, actually, apparently I did not need to flip that first time. There we go. So now we have the plus sign and the four corners. And all these centers should be still oriented correctly, and they are. So now let's put in the side edges. So here is just a yellow piece, which we can see right here. So that's going to have to fall in this way. So the way I track these side edges is that I look at which way it's going to fall in. So let's do the edge insertion algorithm that we use for beginner layer by layer method. Now we've got a red and blue edge. Now that's stuck somewhere else. I'm going to ignore that for right now. And now we have the first two layers done. So now we just have the final layer. So I'm actually going to line up the corners if that's what I usually do. And you can see this one lines up perfectly. These three need to be twisted. So let's do the corner twisting algorithm. Now I don't know if that is the exact way it needs to be, but I'm going to go to the next one anyways and do two more there because I think this one is going to fix this white one. And now let's turn to the final one and do that two more times. So let's line up this one. That's good, that's good, that's good. Yeah! Once you get this one corner, it's easy to see where the rest of them need to line up because you know exactly where this one corner needs to be and how it's oriented. So now for the edges. So first, let's put them in the correct spots. So orange needs to go here, blue here, this one here, this one here. So this is a Z permutation. Now, every time I try to do a Z permutation on a shape mod, I mess it up. So I think I'm just going to do two U permutations. You know, maybe I'll do the Z permutation that I use for OH or for bigger cubes. Yeah, I'll do that. That'll be safer. That was a lot safer. So actually, if you're wondering what that algorithm was, I'll make a video on some OH algorithms that I use or some big cube algorithms soon. So now, that center did twist. We'll fix that at the end. But we need to flip these two edges. So there is an algorithm that's what they call a pure flip. And what we want to do is first put them opposite each other. So I'm going to do, with holding the blue and yellow in front, I'm going to remember that in case I drop the cube or something. Then I'm going to do R prime, F prime, so they're opposite. Then this algorithm, and then I reverse with the F and R. And all those pieces should be correct, and wow, those centers are really messed up. I kind of want to keep it like this. It looks cool. But if we want to fix them, which we probably should, it looks like none of these are flipped 180 degrees. 180 degree flip is just doing RU, R prime U 5 times, but all these need to be turned 90 degrees, it looks like. Oh no, this one does need to be turned 180. So let's do that algorithm so you can see that. So it's RU, R prime, U prime 5 times. So I put it on top, which, you know, it's sometimes hard to see that it's on top because it looks kind of, you know, that definitely looks like a edge or corner sitting up there. But RU, R prime, U. U. Okay, so that one's fixed. So then we have two more. Now, also remember, you'll never have just one piece turn 90 degrees. If one piece is turned 90 degrees, there will be at least one other one turned 90 degrees. Or you might just have one turn 180 degrees. But there always has to be, you know, if you add all of the rotations of centers up, it should equal 180 or 360, something like that. So this needs to be turned counterclockwise, and this one needs to be turned clockwise. That's perfect. So we're going to move this up, and then two more. This needs to be turned, oh, that's actually 180 degrees, and that's 180 degrees. So I'll take care of these, and there we go. So that's the axis cube. So not too difficult, but definitely a little more awkward to visualize because it's not just directly moving a center slightly over one section. It really, there's no set, corners are not always corners, edges are not always edges, and centers are definitely not centers. Now, I know there's one more request for me to do a ghost cube, and I will do that some point in the future, but again, it's a lot like this. A little more difficult because all the pieces are slightly different and there's usually not different color schemes. So often you're putting something in and taking it out to try to see if it fits. Thank you very much. Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Let me know if any other puzzles that you think are pretty straightforward, or they should be, but they look kind of weird, that you want me to go over. Hit like, subscribe for more content like this in the future, and as always, stop by speedcubeview.com for more news and reviews.